Hey everyone, in case you missed the stream on Monday, the 22nd, they actually covered the POIs in this one. So this one was an interesting stream. The actual POI coverage wasn't very long. The question and answer was so long, I didn't watch that part. But let's cover the most important part and let's see the new POIs. There's some new zombie behavior in here too, which is actually cool to see. And we'll cover that as well. So let's condense this hour and a half down into about maybe under 10 minutes and check out the first POI.
So here is, well, hey, go ahead and explain, guys.
So this is our Shamway. This is one of them. This is the smaller of the two. And one of the things we wanted to do when we made this is the old stores, they kind of had a feeling of being able to pop in and loot and have a bunch of guys come out rather than only having one way in. So there's multiple entrances on a lot of these POIs.
So from here we get to see two different POIs. They bring us to what they call a small Shamway, which we're looking at now. It almost seems bigger than the current Shamways, or the Shamways you used to have in the game. But anyway, the new POIs are crazy to look at. They got a lot of new things to check out, a lot of new assets, and like they said, there's a lot of new ways to get into it. You can't. It's not like the dungeons where you just have only one way in and out. You can run in, smash and grab, and kind of run out. I think that was the whole purpose of it. But yeah, we got lootable shelves now. We got a whole bunch of different stuff to check out. As you can see, there is even some new coolers and stuff going on. So tons of new assets to check out. These stores are actually looking really impressive. So now we go and we hop over to the second one here. And this one is what they considered a large one, a T4 POI. Now, this one here, I think to be one of my personal favorites just because of actually what's inside of it. And it actually is a pretty large size POI. So we'll have a mix of like small little Shamways, medium Shamways, big Shamways for all the stores instead of having just kind of like the small, medium, and like the huge super factory, the tier 5s. Look at this, isn't that cool? The roof collapsed, something fell into it, I don't know, meteorite or whatever. It just looked pretty damn cool, and I was really impressed with that. So let's go ahead then and check out the next one.
Okay. Oh, look. Savage Country.
Yeah.
You want to start explaining about this one?
Yeah, so this one is inspired by like G.I. Joe's, if anyone remembers that chain, or like a REI, where it's, you know, you might be able to find some hunting supplies, ammo, clothing, that kind of thing.
So here they lead us through two different stores. This is a larger one, and there's a smaller one coming up. Now these are really cool. He kind of just runs through them here. They don't want to show us the whole POI, so he just kind of briefly goes through as the other guy tries to narrate. And this is actually quite impressive because there is a delay on Twitch. So just the fact he was kind of narrating as he was going through the build was just absolutely amazing. But it looks kind of cool here, and you can start to see a little bit of a change in the zombie sleepers and how they're going to be coming at you in these new POIs. We'll touch a little bit of that in the future here, but we're going to hop over and check out the smaller one here, the smaller Savage Country. And even this little store is cool too. I really love what they've done with these new POIs. They've really stepped it up. I thought they did back in Alpha 17, but in 19 they really stepped them up. So it's getting really impressive. Anyway, as you can see some of the new clothing racks here. You can see some of the new mannequins. All he wanted to do is literally just run around and loot everything. It was a little hard to stop and see stuff, but hey, it is what it is. So next thing we're going to move on to here is some shotgun messiahs. We got some of those new ones going on.
Sorry, you put bullseyes there. I couldn't help it. I just saw it, and I was like, I have to do it.
So here, once again, we have a couple new Shotgun Messiah stores. So one is actually a smaller one with a shooting range in it. It actually looked pretty cool. And then we get an even bigger one with a bigger shooting range, which is even better. Now, they don't show much of this one here, so we'll hop right over to the other one. And there we go. So this is a second one here. Now, as soon as he went in this place, for some reason, it looks exactly like a Call of Duty map. I believe it was Call of Duty. There's some angles in that place that really remind me of it. And they even mentioned later on that they kind of did it around that way because the way zombies come at you now is completely different. What happens is they'll actually, with some of these new POIs, they'll put the good loot in the center and all the zombies will come at you. Let's actually take a quick look at that.
We're trying something a little different where the loot from the POI is right in the middle. And then there'll be waves of zombies that come out, sort of like a defensive mission. And then when the zombies come out is just when they bust out of the rooms that they spawn in.
Well, I can't wait to see that in action. I think that's going to actually be pretty damn cool. I'm real pumped for Alpha 19 now. Anyway, moving on, let's go ahead and check out our new working stiffs.
Oh, look at that, everybody. I think I've been to this one. I think I've definitely done this one. Yeah, it's so peaceful. So calm.
If you've seen American hardware store brands, you might recognize some of the themes a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, by now you can tell why it's taken so long for this stream to unfold, but this is basically it from here on out. They go into there, they loot a few things, they leave and move on to the next one. Now you can tell these actually look pretty cool. It has a little garden center too. Let's hop on over to the bigger one. There's nothing really special to see here. Now, you can totally see what they're going for with these stores here. They want to bring back the open look because that's how the old store POIs used to be. They actually used to look like stores, not super bunkers that people fixed up and completely abandoned. Although that is acceptable because that would happen, but not every single place is like a super dungeon, right? Like that's what I said. I've said it a few times. When the Fun Pimps do something they really like, they do a lot of it. So there's a period of time there where every POI that they added was literally a dungeon, and they had to add in a whole bunch of simple ones to make the game playable again.
Oh, look, everybody. Crack a book and crack a cafe.
Now these I know are going to be my favorite because I'm going to be hitting these ones up and looking for them like crazy. We needed more of these. We needed more crack-a-books. So one thing that I found that was hard to find was books and schematics and all the other stuff. It makes kind of sense, so you really want them to be valuable. But now that these are in the world, I think it's even better. So we went through a small crack-a-book there. Now we got a large one, which also has a cafe on the side too, which is actually rather nice. Now you can see we got new bookshelves. You got tables with piles of books and stuff on them. You can see some of the new assets in here. It's really a big improvement in my opinion. Anyway, moving on, we got next.
Okay. Oh, poppin' pills.
Oops.
I think I've been to this one.
Okay, and of course, now we have our beloved poppin' pills. So these ones are nice and easy smash and grabs. By this point, they, honestly, in my opinion, they actually seemed a little disinterested. And I think Lathan's honestly tired of streaming for 3 to 4 hours a day. I used to do that every day. It was exhausting. So I kind of get that. But by this point, you guys are kind of getting that there's a whole bunch of new POIs. Now, let's actually check out the second POI here real quick, and then we'll move on to the brand new stores, the hardware stores and the electronic stores. Those ones are real cool. Okay, and here we go. So we got a second poppin' pills. There we go. You guys can see. Nice, easy, big smash and grabs. I love seeing these. All right, let's move on to the good stuff.
So there it is, everybody.
Mo power.
What's in lightning bolt?
Okay, and by hardware store, I meant only electronic store. I don't know why I had said hardware store. Anyway, these are actually pretty cool here. These are one of my new favorites. As you can see, there's a whole ton of new assets you can loot on the shelves here. They're pretty much just boxes and stuff you can look at and loot stuff out of them. So just a bunch of electronic parts. Apparently, before the apocalypse, you had to assemble your own electronics. It just came in a box. You look at the picture, then you can make the parts out of electronic parts that you get in it. I'm just kidding though, actually. It looks pretty cool. I do appreciate the effort they've put into making these. So let's go ahead here and check out the bigger one. And here we go. So this to me looks like a Best Buy. I think that's what they're trying to imitate, but I like it. I really like what they did with the storefront. So once again, we got the big, huge entranceway and the big ceilings with all the rafters running through it. The cops and stuff that don't know how to fall properly, but if you take a quick look at this place, it looks pretty damn cool. So they didn't really show anything special in these POIs. They wanted you to find them yourselves. They just wanted to show you the general feel of these places. So you guys kind of got it from here. It looks pretty damn cool. Well, guys, we just managed to keep this around 10 minutes, so I hope that helped. They went into some depth on a new zombie mechanics. We're actually going to be doing a new video on that, because the way they fall from the ceilings and stuff, I think that video actually deserves to be a standalone. But you guys kind of seen like the different mechanics where they're coming. If you come into the center of the actual POI, it calls in like multiple zombies from different buildings, kind of like waves. It's really, really neat. I'm looking forward to seeing some of these POIs myself and sharing my experience with you. If you guys are excited to see that, make sure to hit the like button. Of course, if you want to see it and you haven't yet, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay classy.
What you people say, I'm gonna do my thing my way. No matter what you people do, I'm gonna do my thing much better than you. No matter what you say or do, oh boy, you're out of luck. It's gonna roll right off of me like water off the back of a duck.